Hello everyone, hope you are doing fine. It's my pleasure to start a new series on Padartha Vijnana. As per the BAMS first year syllabus, Padartha Vijnana evam Ayurveda Itihasa consists of two papers carrying 100 marks each. The first paper consists of Ayurveda Nirupana, Darshana Shastra and Padartha. The second paper consists of Pramana, Karyakarana Siddhanta and Ayurveda Itihasa. Before moving to the video, you should know why you have to study Padartha Vijnana. The fundamental principles of Ayurveda are being dealt in Padartha Vijnana. The application of these principles are told in other subjects. So you have to attain a thorough knowledge of this subject. Hope this series will help you understand the basic concepts of Ayurveda. Once again, welcome back to Ayur Samveda, a smart way to Ayurveda. I am Dr. Kavya Vasudev and you are watching Padartha Vijnana series. Moving with Padartha Vijnana first paper, Ayurveda Nirupana. The definition of Ayurveda is being told. The Ayurveda word is being derived from two words, that is Ayu and Veda. The word Ayu means life and Veda means knowledge. The knowledge about Ayu or life is called as Ayurveda. Ayusho Vedaha Ayurveda. That is, the knowledge about Ayu or life is known as Ayurveda. Other definitions of Ayurveda goes like Ayurvedayati iti Ayurvedaha. That which imparts the knowledge of life is known as Ayurveda. Ayurasmin vidyate anena va Ayurvindati iti Ayurveda. That is, the science which imparts the knowledge of life, Ayurasmin vidyate, and va Ayurvindati iti Ayurveda. And the science through which we can attain the proper life, that is also called as Ayurveda. So the science which imparts the knowledge of life and also it helps or it gives a means through which the life can be achieved, that is known as Ayurveda. So the definition of Ayurveda goes like Hitahitam Sukham Dukkham Ayustasya Hitahitam Manam cha tacha etroktam Ayurvedaha sa uchyate. So this quotation is from Charaka Samhita Sutrasthana first chapter. In this shloka, it is being mentioned that Ayurveda is that science in which the four types of Ayu are being explained. That is, the Veda or the science of Ayu is called as Ayurveda. So, especially four types of Ayu or life has been mentioned. And the details regarding these four life, that is Hitatva, Ahitatva, Sukha and Dukkha of Ayu or life is being explained. And also the mana or measurement of life is being explained. That particular science is called as Ayurveda. So Ayurveda is the science which tells about the Hita, Ahita, Sukha and Dukkha types of Ayu, and also the mana of Ayu, that is the measurement of Ayu is also being dealt with. That science is called as Ayurveda. So Ayu Lakshana. It has been told that Ayurveda means Ayusho Veda, or the science of life or science of Ayu is called as Ayurveda. So we should know what is Ayu. So Ayu Lakshana. Sharirendriya Sattvatma Samyogo Dhari Jivitam Nityakascha Anubandascha Paryayer Ayuruchyate. So the union or combination of Sharira, Indriya, Sattva and Atma is called as Ayu, or the life when a person becomes to life, or when a body has the Jiva or life, when there is combination of Sharira, Indriya, Sattva and Atma. The combination of these four constituents makes a body alive. And the paryaya or the synonyms of Ayu has also been mentioned, that is Dhari, Jivita, Nityaga and Anubandha. So this Sharira, the first composition of Ayu, that is Sharira, it is made of Panchamahabhuta and it is considered as the seat of Atma. That is, the Sharira is first produced and a place should be there for the Atma to reside in. So Sharira is the seat or abode of Atma, and this particular Sharira is composed of Pancha Mahabhuta. And the next is Indriya, that is the sense organs. Different Indriyas are there. Jnanendriyas, karmendriyas, and also the manas is there. So these all indriyas are being present in the sharira. And next is sattva, that is the mind, and atma, that thing which is responsible for gaining knowledge. So the person has to become alive when this atma comes to the combination of sharira, indriya and sattva. If it is sharira, indriya and sattva combination is there and atma is not present in that combination, then it won't become ayu, or the body won't be having any life. The body will be there, it will be having the sense organs, but if atma is not there, then ayu won't be present. So the proper combination of sharira, indriya, sattva and atma makes a body alive. So the ayu composition is sharira, indriya, sattva and atma. And the paryaya or the synonyms of ayu has been told like dhari, jivita, nityaka and anubandha. Dhari means that which prevents the body from decay. So the sharira will be undergoing decay, or the definition of sharira is called as shiryate anena iti sharira. That is daily or on the regular basis that which goes on decomposition or such things is called as sharira. So that thing which helps or which prevents the body from decaying is called as dhari, that is supporting the life. And jivita, jivita means which keeps alive, that is called as jivita. Nityaka means which serves as a permanent substratum of this body. Already mentioned, sharira is considered as the abode or the place or the seat of atma. So this has to be goes on, or this process has to continue. So the permanent substratum of the body is considered as nityaka. And anubandha, it is having such paryaya because this goes on. This atma will be moving from one sharira to another, and this ayu will be continuing. So wherever this atma is present in combination of sharira, indriya and sattva, there ayu will be seen. So this composition or this transformation will be going on, or continuously it will be moving. So the paryaya anubandha is being given. So the paryayas or synonyms of ayu are dhari, jivita, nityaka and anubandha. Next is ayu bheda, that is the 4 types of ayu has been told. In the definition it has been told that science which tells about the 4 types of ayu is called as Ayurveda. So the ayu bheda or the 4 types of ayu are hitayu, ahitayu, sukhayu and dukhayu. The features of this 4 types of ayu are told. Sukhayu and dukhayu, that is तत्र शारीर मानसाभ्यां रोगाभ्यां अनभिद्रुतस्य विशेषेण यौवनवतः समर्थगत अनुबल वीर्य एष पौरुष पराक्रमस्य ज्ञान विज्ञान इंद्रिय अर्थ बल समुदये वर्तमानस्य परमरुद्धि रुचिर विविध उपभोगस्य समृद्ध सर्वारंभस्य यथेष्ट विचारिणः सुखमायुरुच्यते असुखमतो विपर्ययेण. So the properties of sukhayu and dukhayu are told. This sharira manasabhyam rogabhyam anabhidruta, that is the person who is not affected with any diseases, who is free from the diseases, or who is considered to be healthy. Visheshena yavvanavataha, that is the person who is youthful, that is not only by age or by physically, mentally also one person will be very much youthful. So such people, that is who is very youthful. Samartha, that person who is capable of doing all the works. Anugata bala virya yasha paurusha parakrama, that is the person who is having the physical strength, energy, success, manliness and boldness. Jnana Vijnana Indriya Indriyartha Bala Samudaya Vartamanasya, that is well oriented in Jnana, Vijnana, Indriya and Indriyartha Bala, that is the person who is having proper knowledge and the proper coordination of Indriya and Indriyartha. In such person it will be Sukhayu. Paramariddhi, that is good fortunes. Ruchira Vividha Ubabhoga, that is the person who can enjoy all his likes, or he can enjoy all the things which he likes. And Samriddha Sarvarambha. That is, he is enriched and he can do all the things what he want, or he can start up anything which he likes. Sarva Arambha. All the things he can do it properly. And Etheshta Vicharinaha. That is, he can be a leader, or he can do whatever things he likes or he needs, because he is very enriched. He has the fortunes, he has the proper knowledge and all, so he can attain a level of success. So these are all the properties which are seen in Sukhayu, and Dukhayu is having the properties opposite to that of these things. So this is the first two types of Ayu, that is Sukhayu and Dukhayu. This Sukhayu and Dukhayu are based on the personal aspects of life. That is, whatever a person in person having obtained, or he will be attaining, that is being told in case of Sukhayu, and this opposite qualities are told in Dukhayu. Next is regarding Hitayu and Ahitayu. This is somewhat more to the social life of aspect. That is, the socially what all things a person has to do or a person has to attain. Such all things are told as Hitayu, and the things which won't be in present is considered as Ahitayu. So Hitayu and Ahitayu Lakshanas. Hiteshinaha punarbhutanam paraswadu paratasya satyavadinaha shamaparasya parikshakarino apramattasya trivargam parasparena anupahatam upasevamanasya pujarha sampujakasya jnana vijnana upashamashilasya vruddhopasevinah suniyada raga rosha irshya madamana vekasya sadatam vividha pradana parasya tapojnana prashamanityasya adhyatmavid तत्परस्य लोकमिमं च अमुं च अवेक्षमाणस्य स्मृतिमतिमतो हितमायुरुच्यते अहितमतो विपर्ययेण. So the properties of Hitayus are Hiteshinaha Punarbhutana. He is concerned about others also. Punarbhutana. Bhuta here refers to all the living creatures. So Hiteshinaha. Hita means which is wholesome or which is good. So the person who is taking care of others also, or all the other creatures also. So such person, Paraswadu Paratasya. That is, he is ready to work for others, or who is having a helping mentality. Satyavadinaha, the person who always speaks the truth. Shamaparasya, the person who is always peaceful. Parikshakarino apramattasya, the person who examines before doing any action without any confusion. That is, he won't be confused before doing any work, and he first examines the thing and then only he goes on with the action. That is parikshakarino apramattasya. Trivargam parasparena anupahatam upasevamanasya. Trivarga here refers to the Purusharthas, that is Dharma, Artha and Kama. These three arthas or purusharthas has to be followed in order to lead to the moksha. So this trivarga or the purusharthas has to be followed in a balanced manner. We should not go for either dharma only or artha only or kama only. We have to maintain a balance between these three purusharthas or trivargas. So the person who is having hitayu will be following these trivargas in an equal or balanced manner. That is called as trivargam parasparena anupahata upasevamanasya. Pujarha sampujakasya. Those who has to be respected, they will be respected by such people. That is, he will be respecting others like elders or the teachers, or the other people will be respected by such person. Jnana Vijnana Upashama Shilasya. He will be always striving to get the knowledge. Jnana and Vijnana, both are the attainment of the knowledge. So he will be striving, or he will be trying to get knowledge all the time. Vruddhopasevinaha. Follow the words of elders, or he will be obeying the rules, or he will be always respecting others, and he will be obeying the words which are being told by the elders. Suniyada, Raga, Rosha, Irshya, Mada, Manavekasya. He will be having well-controlled emotions. That is, Raga, Rosha, Irshya, Mada and Mana are other different kinds of emotions. That is, mental emotions or feelings are they, like Raga, Rosha, etc. And these are considered as Dharaniya, Vegas also. Because these are not good for the health conditions, and it will be destroying our health also. So such raga etc. has to be controlled, and the person who is having hitayu will be having controlled emotions. Satatam Vivita Pradhana Parasya, the person who is engaged in charity works. Tapo Jnana Prashama Nityasya, that is, who will be indulging in tapa, jnana, etc. All the time he will be having engaged in tapa, jnana, etc. Adhyatma Vida Tatparasya, being spiritual. Lokamimam cha amuncha avekshamanasya. That is, different types of lokas are there. That is ihaloka and paraloka. So whatever karmas or actions we are performing in this particular loka, it will be having an effect in the next loka or in the paraloka also. So the person has to, or we have to analyze what karmas we are performing and what effects we will be getting, either good effect or bad effects. So considering the both lokas, that is ihaloka and paraloka, considering the both lokas, the person will be doing the actions. Smriti, Mati, Mata. That is, keep remembering the previous actions. That is, before doing any activity or any actions, he will be remembering what he has done previously and what was the action and what was the result for that, and what all things he has to take care of or what he has to avoid. Such all things he will be keeping remembering, and based on that knowledge he will be performing in the further activities. So these are the properties or the features of hitayu. This all features are being related to the social aspect of the life, and the opposite qualities of these are considered as that of ahitayu. So the four types of ayu has been mentioned, that is hitayu, ahitayu, sukhayu and dukhayu. Here the sukhayu and dukhayu, sukha means good, dukha means bad. So the sukhayu and dukhayu basically deals with the personal aspects of the life. That is, what all things one person has to do or one person will attain or the person has, that is being mentioned in sukhayu and dukhayu. The personal aspects is being told, and while the hitayu and ahitayu is mentioned on the social aspects of the life. So these are the four types of ayu which is being told in detail in this science called as Ayurveda. So the details of hitayu and ahitayu are being mentioned. So next is the Ayurveda, means the details about four types of ayu, and also the mana of ayu has been told. That is, mana means the measurement. So here ayu pramana is being told, how to assess the ayu or how we can measure the ayu. So there are different categories or different features or by which we can assess the measure or measure the ayu, that is life. So first is swalakshana, that is chetana anuvritti is one of the swalakshana of ayu. That is chetana anuvritti. Chetana means the life, anuvritti means it will be continuing. So by the features of life, that is like we will be having the actions or we will be moving, we will be having the process of respiration, digestion, such all things are there. So such all properties helps us to understand that it is chetana anuvritti. So that chetana anuvritti or the proper functioning of the atma, so that is considered as the swalakshana. And by seeing these features like our movement or our process like respiration, inspiration or blinking of the eyes or such speech, such all activities, by these we can understand that atma is there or the life is present in the body. So that is the first way by which we can assess the ayu. Next is by understanding the sukha and asukhata. That is already the features of sukhayu and dukhayu has been mentioned. So by assessing that the features of sukhayu and dukhayu, we can assess the ayu pramana. Similarly, by hita and ahitatva of ayu. That is, the hitayu and ahitayu features have been mentioned. So considering or assessing the features of hitayu and ahitayu, we can understand the ayu pramana. Next is pramana and apramana of ayu. Pramana means the measurement or normal measurements, and apramana means if there is no life or there is no measurements of the life, that is apramana. So this can be considered in two aspects, that is prakrita and vaikrita. Prakrita means the normal and vaikrita means the disturbed or abnormal. So the prakrita pramana of ayu can be considered, that is pramana and apramana. Pramana refers to the normal life or how much long a person will be living or how long a person will be living. Apramana refers to if the person is nearing to his death. So such time period can be assessed. So this prakrita, that is the normal lifespan of a person, can be assessed by dehanusara, prakrtyanusara and lakshananusara. So dehanusara means based on the deha. By seeing the deha, what sattva he is or what satmya he is having, such all conditions, or assessing the deha by the body measurements and all. Like for example, in when a child is being born, acharyas has given the different measurements which we have to assess in that child. So by that measurements we can understand whether this child will be living long or he is having a short span. So that is dehanusara. Next is prakrtyanusara. There is different prakritis are being mentioned. That is 7 types of prakritis are mentioned in Ayurveda. So it has been mentioned Vata Prakriti people will be having less ayu and Kapha Prakriti people will be having Dirghayu. So based on the Prakriti we can assess the ayu or we can measure the lifespan. And similarly Lakshana Anusara. Lakshana here refers to the signs and symptoms. So already we have told, that is in when a child is born, there are certain signs and symptoms which has been told whether the child will be having Dirghayu or he will be having short lifespan. Similarly, in apramana we can consider the arishta lakshanas. Arishta lakshana refers to the signs and symptoms which are being seen in the time of death. So if a person is showing the signs and symptoms of arishta, then we can consider that he is nearing to the death. So based on deha, prakriti and lakshana, we can assess the prakrita, pramana and apramana. And similarly vaikrita, also here also the arishta lakshanas we have to consider, that is abnormalities are being seen in the person. So these are the ways in which we have to identify the ayu pramana, that is by swalakshana, that is chetana anuvritti, that is the ayu will be moving or the chetana will be continuing in the body, that we have to assess by the signs such as unmesha, nimesha or respiration, our breathing, our movements or our actions, such all things. Then sukha, asukha ayus, hita and ahitatva, and pramana and apramana of ayu can be classified into prakrita and vaikrita, and prakrita by dehanusara, prakrtyanusara and lakshananusara, and vaikrita by the arishta lakshanas. And next, certain basic principles of Ayurveda has also been mentioned in this topic. That is, for example, pramana. That is, this Ayurveda has been taken the certain topics from other shastras such as darshana, etc. So the topics which are being told in other shastras for the attainment of moksha has been told in Ayurveda shastra for the attainment of well-being of the people, that is to attain the swasthya by which we can attain the moksha. So in Darshana Shastras and all, they have told about the pramana, that is for attainment of the proper knowledge. And these pramanas are used in Ayurveda Shastra for the roga and rogi pariksha. That is, Ayurveda Shastra is a medical science. So this we have to go with the roga and rogi, that is the persons who is being affected with the diseases has to be seen. So we have to assess what kind of disease is being affected, what is the condition of that patient, such all things we have to assess. For that purpose we are using these pramanas. And padartha, the Acharyas has told regarding the Padartha for attaining the moksha in other Shastras, while these Padarthas are mentioned in Ayurveda Shastra to attain the Dhatu Samya Kriya. That is, for the management of the diseases or for the Chikitsa purposes, we are using these Padarthas. Next is Navakarana Dravya. Again, this Navakarana Dravya comes under the Padartha. These Dravyas are being used for the purpose of Chikitsa or management of the diseases. Srishti Tattva has been mentioned in especially Sankhya Darshana and Yoga Darshana. This Srishti Tattva has told about the formation or Utpatti of the Purusha, and especially all the Mahabhutas or all the creatures has been mentioned, or the Srishti creation has been told in Sankhya and Yoga Darshana. And in Ayurveda, the same concept has been used to tell about the Purusha Utpatti. Here, Purusha refers to the people or the living beings. So, how a person is being formed or how a Purusha is being formed, that is being told using this Srishti Utpatti. Next is Panchabhaudika Siddhanta. As already told, everything in this universe is composed of the Pancha Mahabhuta. That is, as per the Srishti Krama, Pancha Tanmatras are being formed, and from Pancha Tanmatra, Pancha Mahabhutas will be formed. And this Pancha Mahabhuta is considered as the base for all the creatures of the world. Everything in this universe is composed of Pancha Mahabhuta, and the composition of these bhutas will be varying in each person or in each substances. Samanya Vishesha Siddhanta again comes under the Padarthas, but in Ayurveda, this Samanya Vishesha Siddhanta are used for explaining the Chikitsa or for the benefit of the Chikitsa. This Samanya Vishesha Siddhanta has been mentioned in Ayurveda Shastra. Next is Karyakarana Siddhanta. Regarding Karya and Karana, different opinions by different Acharyas are mentioned in different darshanas and other Shastras. In Ayurveda, again this Karyakarana Siddhanta helps in understanding better about the Chikitsa kramas and also the different varieties of diseases. These are the contents which are being told in the first syllabus point, that is Ayurveda Nirupana. So the first definition of Ayurveda has been told, that is the life is being told. That is the science of life, or the science which deals with the matters related to life, or the science which is being telling about the types of life, and the science which is dealing with the mana or measurement of life is called as Ayurveda. So this Ayurveda helps in attaining the life if we are following the concepts which are being told in Ayurveda. So this is the definition of Ayurveda, and 4 types of Ayu has been mentioned. That is, Ayurveda is the science of life or Ayu. So the definition of Ayu, and that is the composition of Ayu is Sharira, Indriya, Sattva and Atma. And the 4 paryayas or synonyms of Ayu has been told, and the 4 types of Ayu has been mentioned with the details, that is Sukhayu, Dukhayu, Hitayu and Ahitayu, and the Pramana or Mana of Ayu. How to assess the Ayu has also been mentioned. Today we completed the topic of Ayurveda Nirupana, and will be discussing the other topics in the upcoming videos. For more updates on Samhita, make sure you subscribe the channel. Thank you. See you in the next video. Till then, bye.